Hey, Scandal Squad, welcome back to the channel, Celebrity Scandalous. Today we are talking about what everybody else is talking about. And can you put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me, just to let me know you can hear me. We are going to talk about the scandal that has been rocking the sports world all weekend, right? And that is Skip Bayless being sued. Now, y'all, I'm going to be honest with you. I am not a sports person, so I don't watch Fox Sports and all of that stuff. So I can't even pretend and act like I know all of the players in this. But what I am interested in is the scandal of it all, okay? That's what drew my interest in. And, you know, just all of this stuff like with Diddy, all of these jobs and stuff. And ladies, I mean, come on. Okay, let me check the comments real quick. Michael says, number one, she didn't have the experience to be on any show. I agree with you. Well, I mean, no, I can't say I agree with you because I'm just getting up to speed on all of it. I don't know. But I will say, as a woman, and many of us ladies can attest to this, there is a thing called pretty privilege. And I mean, you know, if you're attractive, you get benefits that some, you know, and then there are some women that are just uber gorgeous and hell, they just get whatever, you know. And so Lulu is saying, hey, Michael. Hey, Lulu. So before I get into talking about giving my commentary, I'm going to, hold on, y'all, my throat. I be sounding like a frog up in here. I don't know. I got to do something. I'm going to go ahead and play this TikToker because she gives a fast synopsis of everything that's going on. And I know a lot of people already know, but then, you know, there's some people who don't. So let me go let her give a recap and then we're going to talk about it.
Of this lawsuit. So let me give you the recap. Let me start off by saying that this is a two-part lawsuit. Nushin Faraji, who is the woman that's suing, has filed a class action lawsuit on behalf of her and other hourly employees. And then she's also filed an individual lawsuit on behalf of herself, claiming battery, hostile work environment based on gender, race, and disability. She's claiming retaliation, wrongful termination, and some other stuff. Here we go. So I'm going to call her Faraji because I don't know if I'm pronouncing her first name right, so just go with it. So Faraji says that she started working with Fox in 2012 and then was hired full-time in 2016. Starting off with defendant Joy Taylor, Faraji says she meets Joy Taylor in 2016, and at that time, Joy was working on an as-needed basis for Fox. She was married but had recently relocated from Miami to Los Angeles, but her husband was still in Miami where she came from. Faraji says that in May of 2016, she goes to meet Joy for drinks, and when she gets there, a man named Charlie Dixon, who is a defendant and, like I said, is the head of content for Fox Sports 1, is also there. Faraji didn't know who he was, but he was buying drinks and food. After that first night, Faraji says anytime she would go to meet Joy for anything, Charlie Dixon would either come with Joy or he would come later and leave with Joy. The lawsuit says, quote, Faraji suspected that the pair were sleeping with each other, and although this concerned Miss Faraji as she knew Miss Taylor was recently married, Miss Faraji kept her opinions to herself. Keeping your opinions to yourself and then filing this lawsuit with this information in it doesn't all the way feel like keeping your opinions to yourself. The suit goes on to say that Faraji continued to be friends with Miss Taylor, but tried to distance herself as she considered the situation dangerous as well as morally wrong, as Miss Taylor and Mr. Dixon were both married. In July of 2016, the lawsuit says people around the office start hearing about a new show that's going to be launching called Undisputed. The show was going to co-star Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe, and execs wanted a woman with significant TV experience to also star on the show. So Faraji says it was a surprise when Fox announced that Joy Taylor was the woman who got the job, considering that Joy previously was, quote, a bartender and Miami radio host with very little TV experience. Faraji is giving shade, ain't she? Now, Faraji says that Skip Bayless told her at one point that he didn't even want Joy Taylor on the show, but Charlie Dixon was adamant about it and eventually asked him to just do it as a favor to him. A few months after all of this, Faraji says she goes to dinner with Joy, Joy's husband, Charlie Dixon, and Charlie's wife. And during that dinner, quote, Miss Taylor's husband became suspicious that Miss Taylor and Mr. Dixon were having a relationship. Soon after the dinner, Miss Taylor's husband found evidence of the inappropriate relationship and decided to divorce Miss Taylor. Fast forward a bit to January of 2017, Faraji says that she...
Now that's bold. She gonna go out to dinner with her boss that she's sleeping with and the husband. Like, you know, there's chemistry, and his wife was there too. Now that's a bad. Well, I ain't even gonna say that's a bad beat. That's a bold beat. Who would do that?
Was at a rooftop restaurant celebrating Joy Taylor's birthday when Mr. Charlie Dixon approaches her. The lawsuit says that he asked the bartender for a drink and then he places his arm on Faraji's lower back. He asked her how she was doing, if she was having fun, and if she wanted a tequila shot. He then, according to the lawsuit, lowered his hand and started rubbing her body and grabbing her behind. Faraji says that she told Joy Taylor about what happened, but to her surprise, Joy's response was, quote, "Get over it," and that Dixon could make both of them lose their jobs. So from there, Faraji decides to tell another coworker. And the lawsuit says while that coworker agreed that Charlie Dixon was disgusting, the person also said that the behavior wasn't shocking given Fox's culture and that Faraji should.
And here's the thing, for most of us, we know, and I'm just going to say women because I don't know what the men's experience is like in the workplace, but it happens almost on so many companies, so many jobs where men are allowed to make comments about how we look, our bodies, our clothing and everything. And it's hard to even complain about it because, you know, you want to keep your job, especially if you have a family. You know, if you go to HR, you're scared you're going to get fired. So, I mean, it all sounds reasonable. And y'all know I sue the company as well anyway. I'm very litigious.
Should just keep quiet if she wants to keep her job. The lawsuit says a few years into working at Fox, Faraji went to lunch with another one of her coworkers, and at that lunch, the woman tells her that she's no longer going to be working with Fox because Charlie Dixon told her in order to renew her contract, she needed to engage with him. The woman declined, and according to her, she was now parting ways with the company. Following that lunch, Faraji calls Joy Taylor to report what she learned at lunch, and according to her, Joy says no one gives a blank about that coworker. Now, in addition to what's claimed about Charles Dixon and Joy Taylor, Faraji also has some claims about Skip Bayless. Faraji was hired to give Skip Bayless haircuts once a week for Undisputed, and at first these appointments were fine. But eventually he, quote, began finding excuses to touch her. He would give her lingering hugs after each haircut, putting his body against her own, pressing against her, and he even began kissing her on her cheeks. In the summer of 2017, while Miss Faraji was giving Skip Bayless a haircut, he told her that she was, quote, voluptuous. Now, Faraji, whose first language is in English, asked him what voluptuous meant, and he said she should figure it out. Eventually, she does, and she says she was mortified. Faraji says that she decided to keep quiet about all of this because she was a single mom and needed the job to care for her and her son. In an incident from 2021, Faraji says that she told Skip about some medical issues she was having, but instead of him being compassionate, Faraji says that he told her he wanted to be with her and then allegedly grabbed her hands, began kissing them, and offered her $1.5 million to engage with him. About 1 week after the $1.5 million offer, Faraji says Skip tries her again, and this time Faraji tells him, quote, "Skip, stop, you have a wife." To which Skip responded, quote, "Aren't you Muslim? Doesn't your dad have 3 to 4 wives?" And then
When I was a legal secretary some years ago, we were working on a case, and this is in the Bay Area, so I can't say the school, but there was a prominent school where a professor, the school was sued because the professor had made some passes at a young woman. And so basically what happened, and I'm just bringing this up because what we're talking about. So the young lady was a Muslim, and the professor allegedly was flirting with her. Y'all check this out, because she wore, I guess, the hijab or the long, she would wear the head wraps and the long skirts. The professor, she said, was taunting her, flirting with her because he told her she had nice ears. I swear, y'all. And she had nice ankles. And that was a whole lawsuit against a college out here in the Bay Area. Back to the story at hand.
Then Faraji responded that her dad was dead. In April of 2022, the lawsuit says that Faraji walked over to Skip's fitting room on set. And when he answered the door, he, quote, began to angrily accuse her of engaging with Shannon Sharpe. Faraji tried to explain that that never happened, but she says Skip didn't believe her. This back and forth goes on for a number of days. And then on April 16, 2022, during a phone call between Skip and Faraji, Faraji says that Skip tells her he could tell from her body language that she had done what he was accusing her of. He then also stated that he heard her talking to Shannon about her private. There's also an incident from 2018 in which Faraji says that around.
So a lot of people are saying that's exactly why Skip Bayless had all this animosity towards Shannon Sharpe, because he was jealous. He wanted to, have some romance with this woman, and that's why he would get so unhinged on air with him.
On that time, Joy Taylor's then fiance, so this seems different than the husband she had back in 2016, learns that she had been sleeping with Charlie Dixon. Joy's fiance breaks off the engagement after learning this news and threatens to go public with everything he knew. The lawsuit says, upon information and belief, Charlie Dixon paid for everything it took to cancel the wedding in exchange for the fiance not saying anything. Faraji also says that a man named Bobby Diaz, who mics up the talent for Fox, openly gropes, harasses, and is inappropriate with women at Fox, including her. And the only reason he hasn't been fired is because he supplies narcotics to Fox employees and talent, even after an incident where he removed his pants on live camera. What's going on over at Fox? In February of 2020, Faraji says she meets Joy for lunch, and when she gets there, Emmanuel Acho was also there. Faraji didn't know who he was, but she says, quote, she could tell that the two were romantically involved. Faraji said,
Joy was just sleeping with everybody, girl. Them legs was open to the whole Fox. Damn. I hope she got a bag out of this.
She tells Joy Taylor that she probably shouldn't be sleeping with Emmanuel and Charles Dixon because Dixon is a very powerful man who might get angry. But Joy allegedly responded saying she is also very powerful, and once Charles Dixon was no longer useful to her, she would just tell the company that he forced himself on her.
Now, see, that was her mistake. That is the mistake of a lot of women, men too. But I'm going to just say, if you ever have a plan to do some reckless-ish, keep your mouth shut. You don't go telling nobody else. Well, if they do, first of all, if you're prettier than the woman you're talking to, keep your mouth zipped. Number two, if you plan to do some shady-ish, is, like what they say, only two could keep a secret if one of us is dead. Like, you can't go telling nobody, stuff like that. But she's scandalous for that. I mean, I like the plan, ma'am, but you don't go telling nobody. That was her mistake.
Faraji says Joy wanted Acho to recommend her for the show Speak for Yourself, and in September of 2022, she was in fact hired on that show. By October 2021, Faraji says the friendship between her and Joy Taylor had ended. And when it does, Joy begins insulting her on a personal and professional level. Joy allegedly openly mocked Faraji's English and complained about Faraji's humming. The humming is apparently involuntary, and it's a subconscious coping mechanism Faraji uses for PTSD. Joy Taylor also then began saying that she needed a black hairstylist on set instead of Faraji, who isn't black. Time goes on, but eventually Faraji is told that she is no longer needed as a hairstylist at all. And when she asked the head of operations if she had done anything wrong, the woman responded, quote, "You remind me of my dog, and when I take my dog out, he barks at bigger dogs. That's like you." I don't even know what that means, but comparing somebody to a dog is not okay. In August of 2023, Skip somehow learns that Faraji never actually engaged with Shannon Sharpe and decides to apologize to her. While he's doing that, he also tells her that Charlie Dixon wanted her fired because she knew too much and was talking too much. There's some HR meetings, some internal investigations, and on August 8th, 2024, Faraji is officially told that after an investigation, she's being fired because Fox can only afford to have one hairdresser on their 3 shows, 2 of which Faraji had been working on. Faraji says after much therapy, she is now at the point where she seeks justice. So she's suing for battery, which is specific to Charlie Dixon for that alleged incident that took place on the rooftop bar, Skip Bayless for those lingering hugs, pressing on her body, kissing on her cheeks, and Fox because according to her, they required their employees to appease the talent or do whatever they needed to keep them happy. She's also suing for a hostile work environment, failure to prevent harassment, which is specific to Fox for not taking reasonable steps to prevent this kind of stuff from happening, retaliation because she says in one of those HR meetings, she confirmed that Joy Taylor was sleeping with Emmanuel and Charlie Dixon, and shortly after, she says she was fired. So according to her, those 2 things are related. And then she's also suing for wrongful termination. Now, like I said, there's also the class action part of this lawsuit, and Faraji does go into details of that, but it's essentially that she and other non-exempt employees were not properly paid, even though they were required by Fox to work. So we just gonna start off 2025 hot, huh? Because I'm tired already.
Okay, you guys, so I think, so as you can see, if you go through I just kind of skimmed the complaint, and they are asking for a jury trial, but as you know, most let me make sure I'm on My mic is muted. Yeah, most times they're not gonna have a jury trial. There's so many people involved. All of these people are going to have to get their own attorneys to represent them. So I'm going to say that I believe they're going to settle. They're just going to settle. It's probably not worth it. Michael says Joy is a wild girl. So now Shannon Sharpe's name came up in all of this. Now, the first thing I thought of when I heard Shannon's name was Michelle. Y'all remember? Y'all remember when he was up there having an asthma attack on Michelle? So that's what I thought about. I was like, okay, so they're saying that allegedly that Skip thought that she was messing with Shannon. And so, he was jealous and he offered her $1.5 million. Now, let me say this, y'all. Let me say this. I have worked my entire life. I have prided myself on being smart, went to school, got my master's, all of this stuff, cybersecurity, worked my way up the corporate ladder, and all of that stuff. However, if somebody see that, and that's the thing. I have always felt like, and I had some friends that slept with me for money, but I just never could do that. Like, I have to like you. I don't want you touching me. I don't want you putting your lips on me. I mean, hell, I just could never do it, And usually the men that are willing to pay, ladies, let's keep it real. The men that are willing to pay are usually not the ones we want, okay? Because the men who don't have to pay, they got options. They ain't paying for ish. Will barely probably want to buy you a meal, okay? So for me, I just have always been like, it's okay. I'll do my 9 to 5. Because just having some, just like a Skip Bayless. Let's just say like a Skip Bayless. He old and wrinkled, okay? Like, somebody said he ugly. I can't even see the ugliness from just, no way. So it has never been a job that bad that I wanted, because y'all know I started in radio in college, and I couldn't do that because the radio director was trying to go to lunch, and that's when I was younger and all that stuff. I'm like, I ain't going to lunch with this old raggedy man. Hell no, I'm not going to do it. So it has never been a job that I would, what's that word? Compromise my morals, my integrity, or sleep with you to get ahead. But y'all, $1.5 million? That I understand that is wrong, for then it's harassment for him to ask this woman to, bend over for 1.5. But for 1.5 million? Like, how are we paying this, Skip? I mean, is this a one-time check? Is taxes coming out? Are we able to do it under the table? Like, how are we doing this, Skip? Because I might have to reconsider. You know what I'm saying? You're not my type. Like Travis Hunter's girl say, you not my type, but 6 figure that's 7, that's 8 figures or something. You might be my type then. So I'm just thinking, I don't understand how she turned down the 1.5 million. I ain't gonna lie, 1.5 million? Like, come on, man. And then because they're alleging that she slept with Shannon, and I mean, Shannon he's better looking than Skip, but if you did it with him and this man is gonna pay you anyway, I would probably get in trouble by HR for saying this, but hell, why not? I mean, how many times are we talking, Skip? Like, I mean, hell, come on, girl, you couldn't do, let's see, 1.5 million one-time payout. But somebody else was saying that when he offered the 1.5 million, I was watching some show, and it was a sports person, and they said that this would happen, that the men would make these kind of propositions because they have money to throw away. $1.5 million is nothing to them. That's nothing. So the person was saying that even though he offered her the 1.5, it would probably be for more of routine relations, like have her bend over consistently, not for a one-time thing, no. But anyway, Shannon, since they threw Shannon's name up in there, Shannon was like, oh, hell no, I ain't done ish. So this is an article that came out, and it says, while Shannon Sharpe isn't accused of any wrongdoing in the lawsuit, which was first reported by Front Office Sports, his name is mentioned in connection with the allegations against the former FS1 co-host Skip Bayless. According to the lawsuit, Bayless is accused of offering, God damn it, this hair, of offering former Fox Sports hairstylist Nushin Faraji 1.5 million to have relations with him, when she declined, giving her lingering hugs and kisses. Well, hell, if you let the man rub up on you that long, where he was giving you lingering hugs and kisses, just extend it a little bit. And to be honest, I don't know. I heard that, I don't know how old Skip Bayless is, but I'm assuming he's probably about 89 or something. Hell, I don't even think that he could do anything, ma'am. Like, just to look at it, for the smeller, child, you probably could have, it wasn't even going to ever get to that point. Y'all know how these older guys are. The stuff don't, what, I think they get erectile, whatever, at a certain age, and it stopped working anyway. So you didn't even have to do nothing, man. You screwed up 1.5 million. But I get it. I'm not condoning workplace harassment, because that's not good. But girl, 1.5 million. As for Sharpe's connection to the stunning lawsuit, his name is only mentioned as a result of allegations that Bayless got upset with Faraji because he believed that she had been sleeping with Sharpe. So the hell what? Go find you somebody else, sir. Don't be ick washing, like they say, check washing. Don't be scoping out what somebody else getting in, peen watching, I guess is a better way to say it. That's none of your damn business. If she decided to give it to him, move on. I'm sure there's somebody else within that organization you could have paid 1.5. Hell, I mean, I wish I was there. I would have took it. I ain't gonna lie. Anyway, I'm kidding, y'all. I'm just kidding. Bayless later told the hairstylist that he no longer believed that she had been sleeping with Sharpe, and that he had only thought she was because he had been told by SFV1 EVP of content of Charlie Dixon, who was also named as a defendant. So now we also have heard that it's being alleged that Joy had slept with I'm not Joy. Well, Joy slept with Charlie Dixon. So it looks like they having a little freak off at FS1. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like they was having a whole Diddy party in the office. And Michael is in the chat. He said he's at Kaiser. I used to work at Kaiser, and trust and believe, at these hospitals, it's the same kind of stuff. The head nurses be making the EVS employees sleep with them. It all kind of drama, y'all. So the lawsuit, in part, so this is a part, because Shannon Sharpe was a little pissed about it. He's like, I ain't got ish to do with this. Keep my name out of it. Y'all heard me humping on Michelle a couple weeks ago, and that's as much as I was doing. Don't put me up in that. So it says on April 16, 2022, Bayless called Miss Faraji. Miss Faraji did not answer the call because she was scared. She then called him back 10 minutes later. You got unscared 10 minutes later? Okay, that's cool. On the call, Mr. Bayless again angrily accused Miss Faraji of effing Mr. Shannon Sharpe, and said that he could tell from her body language that he was. How can you tell from her body language that she was effing him? Sir, like, what? Were you all up under this woman's clothes and in between his crotch trying to figure out what's. Bayless, you getting old. Skip, yeah, you doing too much. Miss Faraji tried to explain that she was kind to all talent, and that included laughing and engaging in conversation. Miss Faraji then asked if he was yelling at her because she refused to go to his car. Mr. Bayless answered that she shouldn't talk to him like that. Miss Faraji replied that she could respond however she wanted. No, you can't, ma'am. Not if you employ a child. You got to be careful now. You got to. Mr. Bayless then angrily stated that he heard her talk to Mr. Sharpe about her. Y'all, I hadn't read this before. He heard her talk to Mr. Sharpe about her vajayjay. Okay, y'all, we got to pause here. Where in the work environment, even if they sleep, because I messed with somebody at my workplace before, and it was fun. It's just fun. It makes the day go by better. It makes your work better. Hell, workplace romance is good for everybody, right? Unless you're married. We were both single. And you know how they say at the workplace that it's like your work wife, your work husband and stuff. I mean, if you working and it's stressful and you get to sneak out on the corner and whatever, it makes the office a happier place to be. But now, even when I had my sneaky link at work, we wasn't talking about no personal, nothing like that, or nowhere where people could hear us. I mean, you might be, doing little sign language, but you are very careful and cautious of what you're saying and who you're around. So this is weird to me. What is this woman doing talking to Shannon about her vajayjay at work? What about it? What about it? What? Huh? Now that's weird. So that lets me know Skip was having some fantasies. Skip was fantasizing and obsessing over this woman because I know damn well she wasn't up in the. They wasn't Shannon and her wasn't up in there having vajayjay conversations. I just don't buy that. Miss Faraji knew this to be untrue and was embarrassed. And yeah, like, what are you talking about? I'm not up in here talking about my split up in the. Are you crazy? And she responded that even if she had been dating Mr. Sharpe, well, there you go. So she wasn't dating him, child. She was probably bending over for him occasionally. They was probably doing something which she wasn't, which she was. It shouldn't matter at all because she only had a professional relationship with Mr. Bayless. Yeah, so it's like whoever I choose to sleep with, period, end of discussion. It has nothing to do with you. So why are you hot pocket watching who I'm sleeping with? It's none of your business. So it goes on to say, in addition to the allegations against Bayless, the lawsuit accuses Dixon of groping her at a party, firing a female talent for refusing to have sex with him, and keeping his wife on the Fox payroll to ensure her silence regarding his infidelity. The lawsuit also accuses FS1 host Joy Taylor of mocking Faraji, who is Persian, based on her ethnicity, and of sleeping with Dixon and co-host Emmanuel Acho to obtain roles at FS1, including as the co-host on Bayless and Sharpe's former show, Undisputed. Child, it was a lot going on there. But okay, so I say all of this to say, Faraji said that Skip thought she was sleeping with Shannon, and Shannon, after his name being in this whole mess, which he has not been named in the lawsuit as a defendant or anything, but he said, I ain't got nothing to do with this. This ain't got nothing to do with me. So that's what he has come out and said. He get his name up out of this. If y'all want to talk about me and Mattel, y'all could talk about that, but don't talk about me and this ish right here because it ain't got nothing to do with me. So that's where we are with that. So as we fast forward, yesterday when the news broke, everybody was talking about, oh my God, that's disgusting. All of this. You know what, y'all? Let me take a look at the chat. I'm gonna go back up here for a second before I go on. Michael says, using what you got to get what you want. I mean, absolutely. Everybody does it to some degree. Michael says, double standards everywhere. Yes. And Lulu is telling everybody, hit the like buttons and show some love. And I'm going to say Happy New Year. And she says, let's get the likes up. And Lulu was saying, that's true. He's too fresh. Yeah, they probably all talk to a little bit reckless at work. But, when you have men and women at work, this going to get like that, especially if the women are attractive. And these are athletes and, they're just high strung. So I believe it. Michael says she got her position giving up the box. Of course, she's pretty. And I think they also said that her brother was in the NFL or something, that her brother played before too. Lulu said fair use. Lulu's giving a face. And then Michael says trash can juice. Okay, so let's go back to Joy Taylor. So yesterday, like I said, everybody was talking about, when this story first broke, we was all like, oh, that's terrible, Skip Bayless, he's trash. And the EVP, Charlie Dixon, and when I saw Joy Taylor, when I saw when you first read it, I'm like, because I don't know these people like that. I know Shannon Sharpe, I know Skip for seeing, but I'm not intimate, that deep into what happens in that. So I'm like, What? Like, why is this woman's like? What could the? Why is this woman named? Why is Joy Taylor? Because I've seen her before, so I didn't understand like why would she be named. So of course I started reading it, and then yesterday when I was first reading first reports, I wasn't seeing all of this stuff about Joy Taylor slept with ex NFL star Emmanuel Ocho, and that she slept her way to the top. So I would say after the story first broke, with everybody, Skip Bayless was like the headline, but then Joy Taylor started trending because everybody started talking about the fact that she was the office pass around, and and then it was like, oh, that adds a different angle. So then that's when I got like, ooh, what's the scandal with this? So we have the lawsuit that Faraji that she filed, but the sub issue going on now is this whole thing with Joy Taylor and the fact that did she really get her positions in the as a these co-hosts and stuff based on her abilities, or did she get them based on sleeping around and stuff? Now y'all know the same thing they accused Kamala. They accused Kamala of sleeping her way to the top too. So we have this some of these women that are attractive and stuff, I feel they get there based on their abilities, but oftentimes they may have to compromise themselves to get what they want because it's still very male dominated and it's not an equal playing field. So is it wrong for a woman to use her beauty and looks to get what she wants? Okay, so let's get into this story about Joy Taylor. Now, although hey, listen, I do think women do what you got to do, but I mean, do it and be very demure about doing it. And you can't sleep with everybody, girl. Just don't. Just, if you gonna sleep with somebody, try to sleep at the top so you ain't got to sleep all the way up. Okay. I mean, that's okay. So you ain't got to put so much mileage on the hot pocket. But anyway, it says FS1 host Joy Taylor used sexual relationships with ex-NFL star co-host Emmanuel Ocho. So I didn't know much about Emmanuel Ocho other than he had some issue. Amanda Lewis had called him out recently and said some stuff about him because he had talked some trash about Angel Reese. So that's where I knew about this guy. But anyway, it says Joy Taylor used her relationships with NFL star Emmanuel Ocho and network exec Charlie Dixon. So he's the executive VP. So that's way up the chain. He's probably making more money than a whole lot of them. To further her career, according to the bombshell lawsuit, facing a number of sports media's biggest names. So this lady, Faraji, she does just drug everybody into this. It's going to be a class action suit. She done named these people. And some other stuff is probably going to come out as a result of this as well. Because now that they have this lawsuit, and because I think she's doing a class action, there can be other employees that can come forward and want to join this case now. If they have had similar experiences, they can join the case. So what's more, the 37-year-old broadcaster, child, my bad. What's more, the glamorous 37-year-old broadcaster. Okay. Again, now y'all don't hear them saying stuff about men and the BD caster, but women, it's always based on our looks and stuff like that. So the glamorous 37-year-old broadcaster allegedly schemed to protect her job at the network by fabricating a misconduct allegation against Dixon, a Fox Sports executive vice president in charge of talent. That right there, if that's true, that's going to be a problem for her. So I don't know. So what I thought was that she was going to fabricate a story in case any of this stuff ever blew up. But if she actually went on record to accuse this man of something and she was lying, she could face some another lawsuit as well, because you can't do that. You can't make false allegations about stuff like this, and and to some degree, I mean, yeah, you just can't do that. What's more, the glamour, okay, so we already read that. Once Mr. Dixon was no longer useful to Taylor, she would follow through on her plan to tell the company that he forced himself on her. So that's what so that was her plan. but it doesn't look like it came to fruition because we're hearing about it now. Hold on one second. Reading the chat for a little bit. AJ says this is crazy. Hey AJ, welcome to the chat. AJ says, hey Lulu. Lulu says, hey AJ. Michael says, getting clapped at work is diabolical. Well, you don't necessarily do it at work, but it's a coworker, I guess. Lulu says, is it cash in hand? You know what? I don't think for $1.5 million, it would be hard, I'm assuming, to just give the hard cash, but maybe like he could do some kind of, they could do some payment type of, get the money to her. I'm sure they got a way to do it, but I don't think that he would just give it to her cash in hand. He was in the NFL. Jason Taylor is her brother, and he was all pro. Okay, yeah, so that's what I read, that her brother. And then you says Joy was a what? Now, see, I didn't even know she was a bartender. Ooh, no, you didn't say that, because listen. I actually, when I went to school, I started off in communications as a journalist major. And hell, it was hard for me to get it. I mean, both, same thing, I guess. In order for you to really get the jobs, you do have to be willing to do a little. You got to be willing. So I guess it doesn't matter what your education is to some degree, is kind of what you're willing to do. But I'm just saying, even with going to school and training and, taking real courses, from a bartender to an online journalist, and she's very well spoken, but there are just things that they teach you. And that was years ago for me, so I don't even remember half of it. But that's crazy that she was able to make the leap from bartender to online hostess. Crazy. So they said that she had a plan, that if all of this blew up, she was going to point the finger at Dixon and say that he harassed her, although she was sleeping with him for a long time. And if y'all remember, we were just talking about this case with that chief of police in New York, where that lady Quantasia, sorry ma'am if I said your name wrong, but the same thing. She was getting overtime. She was giving him sexual favors for overtime, and then at the end accused him of misconduct. But you took the money, and she didn't even tell. It was after there was a forensic investigation that it came out. Then she hollered harassment. So ladies, it's a slippery slope, and it's a fine line. Taylor Dixon, former FS1 host Skip Bayless, and the Fox Corporation are named on Faraji's lawsuit, much of which focuses on allegations of battery, negligent supervision, retaliation, and other hostile workplace issues between 2012 and August of 24. That's a long time. That's 12 years. Bayless is accused of offering her $1.5 million. Sorry. Taylor herself is accused of dismissing Faraji's complaints about harassment against Bayless and Dixon, telling her to get over it. Now, that's where I'm confused. Now, Taylor was not HR, and if she wasn't a person of power, I mean, what was her role? Was she considered a manager? Well, in management, like, why would she be named if, like, I didn't understand the connection there. So I got to, read a little bit deeper, because if she has no position of authority, you telling her doesn't necessarily mean that she bears some responsibility or liability. Or are they saying that she had a position in the company and she should have told somebody? Because depending on your role, if you're an individual contributor, if you are in management, if your management is a little different, if something is reported to you, but you might not feel comfortable, or maybe, I don't know. I got to understand why that would make her responsible. Was she supposed to have reported it? But I do understand telling her to get over it may not necessarily have been the best comment, but if she's not in management, or she wasn't seen as a person who has a higher responsibility, maybe she just said, get over it. Now we know why she said get over it, because she was doing it too. But is that something that's actionable in the lawsuit? So interesting. We'll have to see. And maybe so, maybe not. And everything you see that's a cause of action is not necessarily something that the judge or that they are even going to be compensated for or would be considered. But in law, what we generally say is take it, throw everything against the wall and see what sticks. So, they're trying to bring as many people into this as they can to try to get some, to try to make the company liable, to increase the company's liability, like in agents of the company, people who work for them. So that's why they just start saying, well, I told so-and-so, and they just trying to get anybody that they can so that they can say, oh, well, this person did. She's an agent of, based on her position, she should have said something. It says, but in addition to those allegations are Faraji's claims that Taylor leveraged sex to advance her career. So, and now when she says this, hold on, y'all, I got to cough again. So what I'm reading this is that what she's saying is that she leveraged having sex to advance her career. But is she trying to say that she created an environment where other women had to do it, where it's like second party it's not harassment, but it's second party, that it impacted her career as well? Because I don't see why that would be an issue for her. She could sleep with whomever she wants. That would be something that she would have to bring to the company and make allegations, or the person, her manager or boss, who was ever over her, that they would get in trouble for. But I don't see why this is a cause of action here. First with Dixon, and then with Ocho, the retired NFL linebacker and Taylor's co-host. So I feel like she's, again, throwing stuff out there to try to show the environment, to show how scandalous it was or something like that, because I don't see that that's an action against Taylor. It's immoral, and it may be against company policy, but how did that necessarily impact Faraji? So that's interesting to me. Now, if we see, this is a picture. Well, let me see if y'all could see. Y'all could see Taylor, very pretty woman, voluptuous. I think Skip Bayless said the same thing to Faraji. Very pretty woman, fit. So, these men, they gonna want her. And the men, even when they would come online and they would be doing the doing the sports commentary, if there was a pretty woman anywhere in the vicinity, the women who would be interviewing the guys on the sideline, they would always make a comment about women's beauty. That's just something men do. So I don't know how you can police that. I think it's common. Once it gets to the point of harassment, then that's an issue. But it's gonna happen. I mean, let's be realistic. So this is that guy, Emmanuel Acho. So this is the one that she co-hosted the show with, and he's the one that was singing her praises and that she slept with. And the funny thing about it was she slept with him and him. Now, y'all remember, before she was doing this two-way here, she had a husband too. And when she was married, she was sleeping with this guy, Charlie Dixon, while she was married. So this lady was just spreading it, dropping it low and spreading it wide. Okay. Let's see. Is this her right here? Okay. So this is Faraji. Pretty. She's pretty too. But I guess she wasn't with the ish, and she liked Shannon Sharpe. So she just did not want no parts of Skip Bayless. Okay. So let's see. So this is Faraji. Very pretty. It says, with Dixon, Faraji began to suspect that he and Taylor. Okay, so then there was an incident where Taylor was actually sleeping with Dixon, and they have gone out to dinner with his wife, and her husband found out. So he ended up divorcing her. So that's a big drama and mess. Again, none of this, in my opinion, has anything to do with Faraji, but I feel like she's just throwing all of this stuff in there to make her look bad. Like, what does that have to really do with her lawsuit? I'm just saying. So she goes on to say that from their body language, Ms. Faraji suspected that the pair were sleeping with each other. And although this concerned Ms. Faraji, as she knew Ms. Taylor was recently married, Ms. Raji kept her opinions to herself. Girl, that's again, her saying this lets us know it's none of your damn business. Why are you talking about it? So let's go. The comments. Michael says her abilities are sleeping around. Lulu is laughing, and Michael says demure, laughing. Michael says she dropping name with hella detail. Michael says to fabricate it absolutely is wrong. I mean, I think if that's the case, because that's the thing, it makes it bad for women and real victims when there are real cases where men are actually doing this to you, where you were staying in these jobs that you don't want to. So if she's lying about it, like anything else, she should face some kind of penalty. You said it's all about the aesthetics. She's confiding in her like she did it with like, girl, why are you telling? Don't say nothing. Please hit the like buttons. Thank you, Lulu. Yes, please hit the like buttons. You said she hella bad though. Okay, so you talking about Joy Taylor. She's a very pretty woman, and you said just like Dre. Now Drea is another one. Drea had a baby by this 20-year-old. But Michael, here's the thing. Y'all know these women are only, well, not, but these men must know these women are doing this to get money, or they don't care. Because Drea had this baby by this man to secure the bag. Michael says it questions the character of Taylor. Agreed. I mean, I do know that, women have to do what they have to do to make it, in the world. It's cutthroat, it's corporate, whatever. But the fact that they're saying that she just slept with so many of the men in the job, I mean, like, it was the thing to do. That's crazy. And I'm gonna say most women. I can't speak for all women, but I think still most women to some degree kind of want to have some respect about themselves. You don't want to be known as the office pass around and stuff. And so you might have an affair, whatever, but to be married, playing with the men at work, and then multiples. And these are the only ones that Faraji know about. To be honest, how many other ones? Because if her brother was in the NFL, she probably done mess with some other ones as well too. And I mean, it has served her well. It has served her well because she has made a name for herself, and now she can do a lot of other things. But damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, there are some women who really, really work hard to get, and maybe they're not as attractive and they don't get the same accolades or the same opportunities. I guess it ain't a fair game. It's really not. Michael says she bringing her son to the game, and he's the same age as Drea's baby daddy. Nasty. Now I know. Drea gives no ish, right? But Drea also recently, one of the NFL players, it's another man that she had a kid by, he was kicking her out of the house. I guess he had gotten a house for her. I don't know, they had been engaged or something, but he wanted her to get out, and she wasn't trying to leave. So Drea is a whole mess. So let's see what more about this story. So these are more pictures. Oh yeah, so this is Joy and Ocho. So they worked together, but it looked like they probably was kind of friendly behind the scenes, right? So she posted, so they're saying friends, food, and football. I mean, she living it up. She is 1 to 3. Okay, this men, they love a pretty woman. She doing her thing. She fixing her hair like I'm the pretty girl. It is pretty privilege. Oh, Lord. Now, this is Scott Bayless's wife. Now, let me say this. She's a mature woman, a woman of a certain age. She's older. And I'm sure back in her day, she was a bomb. I mean, a baddie as well. And so it's kind of, these women get older, then they want something young and cute, subtle, whatever, however you say that. I always mess that word up. So this is the woman that I guess he was, uh, you know, wanting to cheat on. So then the article goes on to say that Taylor split with her husband. So they go on and go through all of that drama. Um, so Faraji says Taylor all but admitted to having relations with Ocho and dismissed talk about any jealousy by Dixon. So I mean, Taylor confided too much in this woman. And as you can see, this woman has thrown her all up under the bus and telling all her business. Taylor, girl, you pretty girl privilege. You can't talk, you have no friends in the game. Because these women are going to be jealous and they're gonna go against you when they get a chance. Lulu says 100% bingo, Michael. Michael says Tyrod Taylor, but that's not her baby's father. Orlando Scandic is her son, Drew's father. Tyrod wants her out. Yeah. I don't have all of the names, but yeah, I have read that. I had read that he was like, get but up out of here, you know. Lulu says fair use. Yeah, it's like these guys, they get tired of it, but they know what these women want. So I don't know why, you know, they sit up here. It's like, you know what's going on. You know what time it is. But y'all, so let's look at this right here. Ocho, Emmanuel Ocho, he got mad. I'm trying to find this article where he okay, yeah, it's right here. So since Faraji fought this lawsuit, Emmanuel Ocho, you know, they've been calling out this whole thing, questioning whether or not how she, because I think, isn't Emmanuel Ocho married? So they're saying that since this lawsuit has hit the airwaves and everything, that Emmanuel Ocho deletes this old video where he was talking, you know, all nice about Taylor. So let me see if I can find it. Let me see. There was a video where he was going on saying how hard she worked being a Black woman and getting in the position that she's in. Let's see. Where is the video? Former NFL linebacker and current sports host Emmanuel Ocho deleted a video of himself and Joy Taylor amid her being named as a defendant in a harassment and bullying lawsuit. So far, neither Ocho nor Taylor have commented. I mean, hell, it's not a lot to say. They're going to have to get a PR person to come in and talk about this. I really wanted to play that video. Let me see. Lulu. Okay. I thought Lulu had just sent me something. Sorry, Lulu. I thought I was like, oh, maybe she got the video. I'm looking for the video where he let me see. I think it's on, I think I know where I can find it. Let me see. Y'all bear with me. I should have had it up, but hold on. Hold on one second. If I could sing, I would sing for you guys, but I can't sing. I think Tough News TV had it in his video. Tough News TV. Okay, let's see. Hold on, you guys. I'm trying to pull this video up. Michael says Taylor was mocking her, and that's why she turned on Jay. Oh, why she turned on Joy. Taylor was mocking her, and that's why she turned on Joy. Let's see if I could get this video. Man, y'all, I can't find this video. But anyway, it was a video of Ocho, Emmanuel Ocho, just singing her praises, knowing, I think the thing where everybody, the reason everybody's talking about it, is the fact that you sleeping with this woman, so it's so disingenuous, and it's just like they be saying so much. Wait, maybe this is it right here. uh they be saying so much like we're stupid face when you up here sleeping with this woman. That's why you saying she's so great when she didn't even deserve it. Okay, I'm still looking. Y'all bear with. Okay, I think this is it. Let me see. I think this is it. Let me share this tab.
Taylor, ready to go out there. You can see she does Rachel Nichols and others. She has, those photos of that. And so we're going to look at some of the videos that people are bringing back up between Acho and Joy Taylor.
Just got done with rehearsal for the new show Speak, and I got to take a moment to shout out my co-host Joy Taylor. A woman, a black woman, daily show, sports. Do you all realize how hard it is to get into the position that she is in? So often there's misogyny and sexism running rampant in sports, and we don't even care what women have to say in sports. But Joy is not only in the position on television as a woman, as a black woman, but as an opinionist. So not just asking men what they think, but providing her own unique and distinct insight. It's hard to do, and Joy, you have done it. So congratulations. Looking forward to working with you, and hope y'all tune in 4:30 to 6 Eastern every day starting next week. That's what I have to deal with, people. Like, just I'm over here focused on the show, and just I don't know what exactly she's doing.
Listen, somebody has to look good around here. Okay.
Slick, you see that shade she threw at you, bro? Because you weren't talking to me.
That was everyone.
So that's the wild stuff that's going on about Joy.
So that's the video that he deleted. He's tried to scrub it from his social media. However, it's too late because everybody already has a copy of it. But even her being in an environment with men and doing all of this pripping and stuff, like, you're calling attention. You are actually asking them to objectify you. I work in the corporate space, and as women, we know like there's certain things we can't wear if it's too low cut. I remember being like, when I was younger, of course, I'm, much more cognizant of, you want them to take you serious. You want to be treated as a professional. But when you wearing low cut shirts and stuff, it's some men, they talking directly to your chest. And you know this, and it makes you uncomfortable. So she knew what she was doing. I'm sorry. Women know, we are quite aware. We know where we are on that social strata in terms of beauty, looks, age, all of that. She knew. So she's sitting up there, she's flirting. Any man in close proximity sees that she's the beautification piece, that she's playing herself to be the pretty victim. I mean, it's evident. But the bad thing about it is men fall for it all the time. Men fall for it all the time. Taylor was okay, so I read that. You said Ocho is a goof. Why you say he's a goof? I mean, although Amanda Seales said that too. You say, oh, he's not married. He was with Yvonne Orji from Insecure. Okay, I haven't watched Insecure since since I guess the first season it came out. Lulu says, hit the like button, you guys. Please hit the like button and double tap the screen. Double tap the screen. Yeah. So he up here telling us, oh, she worked hard as a black woman and man, and you guys is up there in the bed together. Like, they just be lying and playing in people's faces. And not to say that based on what the information they're presenting to her, did she deserve the job? Probably not. But let's look at another thing. I meant to play this one too. So let's see. Pretty privilege. did you guys see it? Did I have it on the right one? I was trying to share. I hope you guys could see that. I hope I didn't have the wrong one on. But oh, you said no sound. Oh, no sound. Sorry. Let me try to share it again. Okay. I'm trying to share it again if I can. Y'all, I'm having technical difficulties today. Okay. This is her expressing.
Me listening to it, I understand it because I know the sort of people that you guys are always around. I know the sort of industry that you are part of, but not everybody has that experience. How do you feel like you can make that experience resonate with other women?
Well, I think what the idea of pretty privilege and what we were talking about is not something that we in any way introduced to the conversation of the world. There's a lot of evidence, there's a lot of experiences that have been shared about so many women in the entertainment space that are considered to be incredibly iconically beautiful, who had tragic lives that were directly a result of what they looked like. Marilyn Monroe had a very hard time. She is widely considered to be one of the most beautiful women that have ever existed. She is still iconic because of her looks and her talent, but of course, because of her looks. And she had a pretty rough go if you want to dig into it and read about it. Now, she had an amazing life as well. She was very famous. She got diamonds. She had amazing experiences. But with anything in life, there is a cost. And the idea that just because something offers great highs, that it doesn't simultaneously come with deep lows is just a matter of perspective and proximity to experience. Mm-hmm. You all played at a very high level in a league where one percenters of one percenters play. You made lots of money. You were very famous. You had thousands of people screaming your name, buying jerseys with your name on them, begging for your autograph and photos. But you also risked your fucking lives to do that. You literally put your actual life on the line to go play the game. Now, that sounds dramatic, but it is just the truth. You are running full speed into another human every single play. There are terrible things, and we've seen them happen. So there's a cost to that. You get injuries, you have surgery, you get Toradol shots, you take pills. There's a cost to that. Now, it's a cost that most people would sign up for, but it is still a cost. And at some point, it might cost someone more than it would cost you. But we know these stories, and they're tragic, and they're sad, and they are a direct result of their choice to participate in a 1% of a 1% experience. Mm-hmm. Now, you guys are all the best athletes in the world. That's why you had that experience. I cannot play football. I was chosen to look this way. So there's things that happen to everyone in life. So what I would say is certainly things can come across as if they don't have gratitude, or they're maybe talking down to someone. But if you zoom out from the experience that offers great rewards, understand that there's nothing in life that doesn't come with a dark side. Nothing. Hold up.
Sorry about that, you guys. So, okay. Thank you, Lulu. Thank you. Yeah, so that is her pretty much letting us know. Like she said, these men go out there and everything has a up and a downside, and that she's letting us know that she knows that she's beautiful and that she uses her body. Like she was chosen to look that way. That is her gift and her ability to be in the competitive zone with these men that have athleticism, right? She knows that her beauty is going to get her what she needs and what she wants. And so she used it. I mean, that's pretty much what she's saying. And she's letting us know about pretty girl privilege. So it's just crazy. It's been going on forever. Nothing new here. But it's crazy also that Michael says, she said since she can't play football, she giving it up. Yeah. But okay, and here's another thing. She's an attractive, very pretty woman. Why couldn't she just land she did get married and she messed up with him and they ended up getting a divorce. Why didn't she just marry one of those athletes then, so that if she wanted a particular lifestyle and she wanted the money, she wouldn't have to sleep around. Because I'm feeling like she slept around because she wanted, that life. So why not just marry one of them? Nag one if you're so pretty, and she is, but why not do it that way instead of having to pass the hot pocket around everybody? Okay, so why didn't they want her? I don't know. I didn't hear that, and I'm just basing it on the fact that she's pretty, and men want a pretty piece or a trophy wife. She's the part. So, but she wouldn't have flipped if somebody had a wifed her. She only started doing that because nobody wifed her. That's how I see it. Lulu says she's just using her guy. Lulu says she's just using her God-given assets to get what she wants. And y'all know, and that's crazy because half of those NFL players, it's the same thing. And I mean, we could say the same thing about Travis Hunter. That's half of these women. The only way these men could know that these women really want them. Well, some men are handsome, so let's just put that out there. Some men are attractive, so it doesn't matter if they got the money, they got the job, whatever. They're gonna get the women. Like I said earlier, they got options. But some of them, it's like you need to go get you somebody who liked you before you had the money. And then I'm not trying to be funny, but some of these men, they want to go get the most beautiful, drop dead, gorgeous woman that because even Jay-Z says in some of his songs, he said before he had money, these women wasn't fooling with him. So you already know. You already know what type of man you are. You know what type of man you were before you got this money. So why not really try to just deal with the people who want you for you? But I don't know. I guess you said Travis Hunter is green. Yeah, he is green, but that's what family is for. That's what the other league guys in the leagues are for. One of my cousins, he actually, two of them it's two brothers. One made it into the NFL and he played for about 5 years. He's in Los Angeles, retired now. But his younger brother played, or he got recruited, drafted, but he didn't make it. I think he made it to the first, like when they do the training camp or something. And he was telling me that they have the NFL, when you make it, like before, like when you're doing the drafting or whatever, the first part before you, whatever. He was saying that they have classes. They tell these young men, the women are going to try to get pregnant. They're going to try to get your money. So I feel like you already know this. And this is, I'm sure you're hearing about this while you're in college, especially if you're a D1 player. And then when you go through this whole draft period, like right before you get signed to the teams or whatever, they are giving you classes. So how green can you be when you should have the information available to you? People are there to tell you. Women will let you flip just because you got money or some type of status. I agree. But you know what, Michael? Hold on. I got a call. I also think, though, that there's a particular type of women, though. I don't think all women are out there trying to flip to be with men. I would say most women, because I don't think nothing is a one size fits all, and not all women are the same, period. But I don't think that, I think it's a particular group of women, and those men pass them around. And it's because those are the women who will sell their souls, will do anything. And like you said, they will flip. However, I think there's still some women who want that particular lifestyle, but they ain't willing to do it for any and everything, not by any means necessary. So I do think, like Adrea, she's one of those. I think she's one of the girls who, and I think some of the women on Basketball Wives, because if you start looking at their history, they with this man, that man, this man. If the man got some money, they're gonna be there. So I think there's just a particular, they become like a little sorority. It's the same group of women, and the men know who they are. Because there's some women who'll be like, yeah, I went to God, I did this, I don't have, and then if I can't get it the right way, then I just won't never have it, you know. Lulu says maybe she doesn't want to be wanted. She probably contented with her lifestyle. That's true too. Yep. I mean, maybe she just wants to deal with these guys and get the money, and she just, yeah, I mean, that's true. Maybe that's how she wanted to play it. They don't care how you treat them. See, well, Michael, I mean, I guess from a male perspective, that could be right, but I feel like even with these women, they get the athletes that like, okay, say Lala Anthony. I mean, she had Carmelo. They had all of this stuff, but he cheated. You get cheated on. It's sort of like, I know nothing about that kind of lifestyle. Okay, so let me just say this. But I feel like when you marry a man, when women get married, and especially if he has money, we really do want the whole package. We want the loving, doting husband. We want the faithful husband. So it feels kind of empty. Hear me out, Michael. It feels kind of empty to say that you got the man, but he's sleeping with everybody else. You might have the house, but when your girls come over and y'all all sitting around, they kind of laughing at you. And let me tell you, okay, I don't know if you know Real Housewives of Potomac. There was this one lady on there. I forget her name, man. I forget her name. Was it Real Housewives of Potomac? And she had married an athlete, and he was a coach. And she had the pretty house. She had the champagne room, but she was miserable. Man was never there, was always cheating. And when she would go out with her friends, she would kind of be able to show off, but it was empty. It's like, oh yeah, that's cute. You got the purse, but what you really want is your man. He's not there. Oh, who your man is he on girlfriend number 14? Did you go get your STD checked? Like, it's like we all want to pop our collar, right? And not saying that you want to brag, but if you're trying to live that lifestyle, that's not what you want. You don't want the man who's the neighborhood. Oh, you don't. You don't want your friends to come and, oh, look at my beautiful home. But your man got 10 side pieces out there. No, I don't think that's the fairy tale that women want when they marry into the basketball lives. Now, I know there are some who they don't give a damn. Like, I think I don't know, because everybody has different desires. But I'm just saying, how are you bragging and popping your collar and thinking you all that when your man got 5 other women out there? You just, maybe you have the home, but still you don't feel like you're desired. I don't care. Like, when your man, if that's your man and he got 4, 5 other chicks, it's gonna do something to your self-esteem, I think. Michael says Dre is definitely a flick. She was giving dome to Gilbert Arenas while Nick Young was dry. Huh? Now, I've seen Gilbert Arenas. I've seen him, and I saw his new wife. She's pretty. But I didn't know all of that stuff like Drea. I only know about Drea through Basketball Wives. And I know she had an incident where she had left her son at home to go to a Chris Brown concert back in the day. Like, she was a horrible mother. She, yeah, please, let's get the likes up. Can y'all get the likes up and double tap? Michael says she was robbing the cradle. La. Now, okay, Michael, so this is another one. I don't know if you guys, I'm not that into sports, but I like the celebrity entertainment aspect of it. So for Lala Anthony, allegedly, there's a whole, man, we got to go down that scandal, because that's definitely supposed to be a scandal. Just like Travis Hunter, Lala Anthony was older than Carmelo. Okay. But I think Carmelo was at least in college when she got him. But somebody did a story, a whole video, and I got to go back and try to find it, where there was a group of women. And these are allegations. It's not allegedly. Lala was with it wasn't Missy Elliott, but it was a group of women that may have been lesbians or whatever. They like to swing, whatever these women do. I don't know. And Gabriel Union. It was Gabriel Union was the other one. And so what they said is that these women weren't really that interested in the men, but that their plan was to get NBA players or guys that were going to get drafted. And just like Gabriel Union married whatever that man's name is it Wade, whatever. So they would eye these young players and pick out like who they were going to go after to try to get the most vulnerable ones so that they could get married. And they said it was a group of women that they were, maybe bi, or they would just sleep around or whatever, but they were doing it for the bag. They were focusing on the players, like, okay, the same thing that people said that this Leanne girl is doing to Travis Hunter, that there was a group of women, it's a whole little, and they're all friends. And it's like, okay, yeah, we going to get this one, we going to get that one. And that's how they said Lala did it, and Gabrielle Union. And I can't remember if any of the other women, I don't remember. Michael says Drea is definitely an industry pass around. Absolutely. And Drea's good though, because she go through she do R&B, she do athletes, she do actors. Drea be doing a lot, because they even said Drea was with Diddy. Did you hear the one guy? He used to be on Lovin' Hip Hop, I guess LA, and he said he was with Drea and Diddy somewhere. He was going to do some studio stuff, and Drea started bobbing for apples right in front of him with Diddy. Yeah. Lulu says, hit the like button on your way in. Please hit the like button. I agree with you on the Drea remarks, Malachi. I didn't see it. Is there a Malachi in here? I missed the Malachi. Michael says Lala Anthony is trash. She want to be. Oh yeah, I know. I was like, well, I mean, anybody could be anybody's friend, but why? Yeah, the Kardashians. I mean, Chloe got all kind of black men that she can't never keep. I mean, Chloe is she's the biggest one. Oh, they just had a plane crash in Los Angeles in somebody's backyard. That's sad. Yeah, she changed her whole face. Didn't she used to be on like 106 in Park or something? I remember back in the day, she used to do some, I think she used to be a hostess for some music or something. She was always pretty, but a lot of these girls, they're changing their face. They are. She's an all-arounder, CB. Chris Brown, I think you're saying Chris Brown. No, my phone changed. Michael. Oh, okay, got you. Oh, TRL, the something. I can't remember what it was on MTV. The blah, blah, blah. I can't remember what the TRL stands for, but MTV. Yes. So yeah, that's what they said. They said these women were totally looking at the NBA players, the NFL players, looking at the guys based on when they come out of college, who was going to get signed, which is smart. But if they were gay or bisexual or whatever, and they really weren't into men, that's interesting. But yeah, somebody did a whole expose on how some of these girls, like, they were really into women. And I believe they mentioned Lala Anthony, Lala allegedly. Total Request Live. Okay, I used to watch all of those shows back in the day. I forget the names, but thank you, Michael. Thank you. Oh, here we go. Michael says that's prostitution, because we can't say everything on YouTube. And that's not. I don't think that is. That's not like. Well, first of all, Michael, that word that you said, when I was growing up, because I was Catholic, my parents used to make me call it social work. So social work is legal in Vegas, but I think social work is considered where you pay for a service, for bending over one session. Looking at somebody to marry them for money has been around for ages. They did that back in the day for years. Okay, that's a good one. You said sell in the box. Okay, sell in the box. Lulu says, follow Celebrity Scandalous on IG. Thank you, Lulu. So Michael says, sell in the box is wild. People got to pay their bills. That's just something I could never do. I never had to do it. I'll just get up and go do my 8 hours. That's what I'm going to do. But hey, what's the deal? Some women slide down a pole. They use their body to get money, and they get good money. But that's how some women that's what they do to make ends meet. But I don't think that looking at men to marry them for money. They've always married men for money. And so I think what it is that I don't think it's, I think I could say at one time prostitution, because they do marry him. They're looking for a lifestyle. They're not just trying to trade money for the box, as you say. So they're looking at it to become a lifestyle. Get up and get a job. I agree with you. You know, my daughter's an attractive girl. And I tell her, you know, of course, marry somebody that's got something going, a good guy. But yeah, you can't. And another thing that I say too to some of these women when they try to get with these men for money is that even if you marry a man with money, hold on one second, y'all. I got a call. Even if you marry a man with money, hell, that's a job. You the wife. This man is a multimillionaire. You got to keep the house clean. You got to keep your husband happy. You got to take care of the kids. You are supposed to. They act like if you marry somebody with money, you just, oh, I want to do my nails. I want to do hair. I want to lay up. I want to drive the Range Rover. Girl, that's a job. You're disillusioned. The same way, that's why I'm saying it was better for me to get up and hit that 9 to 5 than to have to be married to somebody just for the money, because then you are subject to whatever they want. It's a effing job. It's their money. It's their money. So what are you doing? Michael says all money ain't good money. What about your image? Michael, my aunt used to say all money ain't good money until it run out. Okay. But exactly, that a lot of them, they don't care about the image. Their image, they solely are focused on having that IG lifestyle, that influencer lifestyle, popping bottles, the latest purses and stuff like that. You know, and that's a young mentality. Once you get to be of a certain age, you do want nice things, but there's so many other things that, I mean, clearly money provides some luxuries, but there's so many other things that are important. And I think it's just a matter of maturity. Michael says, go make your own lifestyle. Absolutely. You speaking to the choir on this one. That's what I preach. Make your own money. And that's how I was raised. My mom was an NP in pediatrics. So I was always taught, you know, you don't depend on a man. You know, you don't depend on a man. It's nice to have a partner. Whatever you want, a man who's a provider, who, if you have a family, if you're giving birth and you have children, you want the flexibility to be able to raise your kids and not have to get up and hustle out the house in the first couple of months. So think about that when you choosing your man, because when you having babies, you know, you want your partner to be able to hold the house down. So you might have to take a break from the workplace. I think that's kind of, those are the things I tell my daughter about. Like, I don't say, oh, just go lay up and get pregnant or whatever. But if you choose a partner, when you have a family, you are going to want some flexibility to be with your babies. You ain't gonna want to have a baby and then have to hit the pavement a couple months later. That's hard parenting, and that's the kind of lifestyle a lot of single mothers have. And I don't think it's good. You need to be, if you're gonna have a baby and a husband or whatever, however your household is, you do want the other partner to be able to hold some things down. Now, I have worked at, you know, in a company where it was this one woman, she liked working. She liked being the primary person. So her husband stayed home. It was the house husband, you know, no, she was not Black. No. But that's how her household was. And she said she didn't want to be home, but you want the ability, you want the flexibility. You don't want to have to be hustling up when your baby is 2 months old to get back out in the workplace. You don't. I was able to have the first year off, and it was so important. And then, you know, have my daughter only go to daycare part-time. It made a world of difference. You said if she looks like her mother, she definitely is. I don't know who you were talking about. I want my wife to still be who she is, and that's why I'm not married. What do you mean you want your wife to still be who she is? Because once your wife has children, once she becomes a mother, most women change to some degree. It's physiological. They can't help it. Our biology is like that. You have a baby, you produce some milk, all things change. So I don't think you could. I get this. You want the woman to still have the same pizzazz and spunk that she had when y'all were dating. But as a man, you have to understand there are going to be changes. And that's where you have to compromise. That's where the support comes in. That's where the parenting comes in. You know, you says, I will take care of my wife, but be who you were before I met you. Yeah, I agree with that. Like Beyonce say, I'ma still keep my hair done and be the same one you fell in love with. I'll rub your back. All that stuff. Yeah, it's a lot though. Because women, we have emotions and hormones and stuff, so things change. So, Lulu says, hold on, Lulu, 1 second. Sorry. Lulu says, always tell my daughter, get your education so that you can be independent and don't depend on no men. That's the same thing I preach, and that's the same thing that was preached to me growing up. And I think it's fair. You do want a man who's capable. Don't get no damn bum. You gotta take care of. And Michael, you said I'm not talking about appearance. No, I'm not just folks. I be talking so fast. I'm not solely talking about appearance either. But what I'm saying is, say when you first start dating somebody, there's the spontaneity of it. Y'all can just get up and go. But once you get a child, if a woman has a baby or whatever, and maybe you're not talking about once you get children and stuff, but once you get into a lifestyle of being married and stuff and having a family, there are other things that come. You can no longer just get up and be carefree. You got another person to think about. You got household things to think about and your energy level. So, I mean, things change. And I think when people get married, when men get with women, y'all forget that. I think y'all forget that. I'm not just talking about appearance either, but I think you guys forget that. I'm talking about the things you did before. I had a friend who recently was explaining the same thing to me about how the wife has changed. That's a big deal. I mean, it is, I know. But unless she just, okay, for example, let's just say this. If y'all watch Love and Marriage Huntsville, that's what Martell said, that he would ask Melody to do certain things that she didn't want to do or that she changed. And I think it's like, men say, I need you to be the same person you were when I got with you. But that's kind of unrealistic, guys. People are going to change. Our bodies our hormonals. We can't even manage our own hormones. We would be happy if we could even manage them. We are subject to our own body sometimes. So it's hard for women. I mean, I know people think, oh, just do what you do, but it's just, we're complex creatures like a foreign car. Lulu says, follow Scandalous on Celebrity Scandalous on TikTok. Thank you. Please hit the like buttons. Michael says, if my lady has a child, I'll be there, and I don't expect to be able to drop everything. I mean, that's what men say. Y'all always say that, but here's the thing. The thing I found out about motherhood and being in a relationship is that there are about 100 things that we don't think about when we become parents, or when we get in these relationships and then we start having children. There are things that you don't even suspect, and then they start to tear and change your relationship. And then you're dealing with a kid here, a new baby or whatever. There are just so many things that we are not prepared for. And then we trying to hold on and manage a relationship. And most of us just don't have the ability to until you get more mature and you are able to look back and go, oh, damn, I could have done this better. I could have done that. But it's kind of like you don't know because there's no manual that comes with it. So you're putting two people together that's got competing priorities, and the shit is hard. It's absolutely hard. If my lady has a child, I'll be there. Okay, you said that. You said Melody. Why you call everybody a goof? Lulu says agree, Michael. Michael says she's so nasty and pursuits of trying to get back at everybody. I don't watch this show anymore. Michael, you know I had Melody. I did an interview with Melody. I liked her. So I got a chance to talk to her, and yeah, she was on Celebrity Scandalous. Because I identified with Melody with going through that very public child custody case, because I went through one, and it was, now when you talk about diabolical or nasty work, my stuff was nasty work, Michael. This was nasty stuff that happened to me. And I used to talk about it because a lot of women, when you're going through custody and going through situations with men, again, when you're going through it, it seems like, oh my God, it's the worst thing. But when you mature and you look back, you realize that you could have handled things a little differently, you know. So Michael says she still wants to be. No, she don't. If he didn't have that outside, but no, I don't think so. She's super. I don't think she still wants. That man has drug her through the mud. No. And, you know, I used to do Love and Marriage. I used to do commentary on that. I loved it, but it got crazy. Them people over there, they this is too draining. And the whole situation, because initially the show was to show Black excellence, and now it's just showing Black ignorance. And so I'll call it Love and Mess Huntsville, because it just got crazy. But I like Melody. Despite all that she went through, she managed to still excel, keep her wits about her. It was a very public, embarrassing situation that she went through, and she still turned it into something positive. What's super, Michael? I don't know what super is. I don't know what that is. But anyway, y'all, Michael, you said you were at Kaiser. I got to go to Kaiser. I got an afternoon appointment. So I got to get up and go take myself to Kaiser, which I don't want to go because I don't want no bad news. But yeah, y'all, I'm about to log off, and I will see you guys. I might do a show later today. I was a little off today because I have to go to the doctor, and I don't like doctors. I don't like Kaiser, and I got to go. And so, you know, I'm just trying to stay positive, you know. So anyway, I might be back later. If not, then I'll see you guys tomorrow. Michael, you have a good day. You too, Lulu. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye.